My child, let me speak to you about a truth that often seems difficult, even impossible, but it is a truth that lies at the very heart of my Father's love. Love your enemies. I know that sometimes people will hurt you, say unkind things, or treat you unfairly. It's natural to feel angry, sad, or even want to seek revenge. But I tell you, there is a better way. Think of love as a light. When darkness surrounds you, a small light can push it back. When someone treats you with darkness, with hate, anger, or unkindness, your love can be that light. It doesn't mean you condone their actions or pretend that what they did was okay. It means you choose to respond differently. You choose to respond with love. This love isn't a feeling, it's a choice. It's a choice to show kindness even when it's undeserved. It's a choice to pray for those who hurt you, asking my Father to bless them and change their hearts. It's a choice to offer forgiveness, even when they don't ask for it. Remember, my Father loves everyone, even those who seem unlovable. He desires for all to come to know His love and find redemption. By loving your enemies, you become a reflection of His love, a beacon of hope in a world that so desperately needs it. It's not easy, my child. There will be times when you want to give in to anger or resentment. But I am with you. I will give you the strength to love, the courage to forgive, and the wisdom to know how to respond. Trust in me, and let my love guide you. For in loving your enemies, you not only bless them but also set yourself free from the chains of bitterness and hate. You open your heart to receive my Father's boundless love, and you become a true child of God. And you know, my child, this love is not just a one-time act, but a continuous journey. It requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to forgive time and time again. There will be times when you feel you've forgiven enough, that you can't take any more. But remember, how many times have I forgiven you? I have forgiven the whole world, even as they nailed me to the cross. When you love your enemies, you are breaking the cycle of hatred. You are planting seeds of peace and reconciliation. You are opening the way for healing and restoration. You are demonstrating that love is stronger than hate, that light can overcome darkness. Sometimes, loving your enemies means setting boundaries. It doesn't mean you have to endure abuse or allow others to hurt you. It means you choose to respond wisely and lovingly, rather than reacting with anger or revenge. You may need to distance yourself from toxic situations or seek help from wise counsel. But even as you set boundaries, you can still love your enemies by praying for them, by wishing them well, and by forgiving them in your heart. You are handing them over to my Father, trusting that He will do His work in their lives. Remember, my child, this love is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It is the strength to overcome anger and resentment. It is the strength to choose love over hate. It is the strength to become more like me. And as you strive to love your enemies, you will find that you are changing. You will become more patient, more kind, and more forgiving. You will experience a peace and joy that only my Father's love can bring. You will discover that love is not just a command, but a gift that transforms you and the world around you. My child, remember that this love is not a fleeting emotion, but a constant decision. It's a decision to see the true person within each individual, even when they mask it with hurtful actions. It's a decision to believe that everyone has the potential for change, that my Father's light can reach even the darkest places. Sometimes, loving your enemies means praying for them. You can pray for their peace, for their healing, for their awakening. You can pray that they come to know my Father's love and find salvation. Sometimes, loving your enemies means taking action. You can do good things for them, even when they don't deserve it. You can help them when they are in need, or simply offer them a kind smile. You are planting seeds of love and kindness, and you never know how they will grow. But most importantly, my child, loving your enemies means forgiving them. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting what they did, or pretending that it didn't hurt you. Forgiveness means letting go of resentment and bitterness, and handing them over to my Father. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It frees you from the burden of hate and allows you to experience the peace and joy that only my Father's love can bring. And as you forgive, you will find that you are becoming more like me. You will become more merciful, more compassionate, and more loving. You will become a light in a dark world, a reflection of my Father's love. Remember, my child, I am always with you. I will never leave you, even in the most difficult times. Trust in me, and let my love guide you every step of the way. My child, never forget that this love is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to great strength. It's the strength to overcome anger and resentment, to choose love over hate, to become more like me. Imagine love as a warm flame, capable of dispelling the darkness of hatred and illuminating the path of forgiveness. When you love your enemies, you are giving them an opportunity to change, to find peace and joy in my Father's love. Sometimes, loving your enemies means being silent. It's not an endorsement of their actions, but a recognition that words can inflict further harm. Instead of retaliating with bitter words, pray for them and trust that my Father will do His work. Sometimes, loving your enemies means taking action. You can help them when they are in need, or simply offer them a kind smile. You are planting seeds of love and kindness, and you never know how they will grow. But most importantly, my child, loving your enemies means forgiving them. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting what they did, or pretending that it didn't hurt you. Forgiveness means letting go of resentment and bitterness, and handing them over to my Father. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It frees you from the burden of hate and allows you to experience the peace and joy that only my Father's love can bring. And as you forgive, you will find that you are becoming more like me. You will become more merciful, more compassionate, and more loving. You will become a light in a dark world, a reflection of my Father's love. Remember, my child, I am always with you. I will never leave you, even in the most difficult times. Trust in me, and let my love guide you every step of the way. And remember, my child, my Father's love is unconditional and never-ending. Let that love flow through you and touch those around you. My dear child, listen to my voice and take these words into your heart. Love your enemies. I know it is not easy, and I see the pain they have caused you. I see the wounds they have left, the betrayal, the injustice, the words that cut deep, and the actions that made you weep in silence. But I tell you, do not let hatred take root in your heart, for hatred is a chain that binds you, while love is the key that sets you free. I loved you even when you turned away from me. I forgave you when you did not deserve it. I embraced you when you thought you were unworthy of my love. Now, I ask you to do the same for those who hurt you. Not because they deserve it, but because I have called you to be like me. When you love your enemies, you are not just obeying my command, you are stepping into the light of true freedom, true peace, and true strength. Do not repay evil with evil, nor insult with insult. Instead, bless them. Pray for them, for they are lost, just as you once were. Show them the grace I have shown you. If they curse you, speak words of kindness. If they strike you, do not strike back. If they despise you, love them even more. This is not weakness, it is the power of heaven working through you. The world tells you to seek revenge, but I tell you, forgive. The world says to hate, but I say, love. The world tells you to destroy your enemies, but I tell you, win them over with my love. Remember, child, love is not a feeling, it is a choice. It is a sacrifice. It is an act of obedience that leads to blessings beyond what you can imagine. Do not carry the burden of resentment, for it will only weigh you down. Instead, surrender it to me. Let me heal the hurt. Let me fight for you. Let me turn your pain into a testimony of my grace. I see your struggles, and I know your heart. But trust in me. When you choose to love your enemies, you will find that they no longer have power over you. You will be free. You will walk in the light of my love. And through you, they may come to see me, to know me, and to be transformed by the same love that has saved you. So, my child, love your enemies. Because in doing so, you reflect me. My beloved child, listen closely, for what I am about to tell you is not just a command, it is the very heart of who I am. Love your enemies. Yes, even those who have betrayed you, even those who have spoken against you, even those who have hurt you deeply. I see the struggle in your heart. I know how hard it is. But I am calling you to something greater than this world's ways. I am calling you to walk in my love. Do you remember how I loved you when you were far from me? How I called you back when you ignored me? How I forgave you even before you asked for it? That same love, unshakable, undeserved, overflowing, I now ask you to extend to others, even to those who least deserve it. Because that is the kind of love that changes hearts. That is the kind of love that breaks chains. That is the kind of love that sets you free. Do not be like the world, my child. The world teaches you to repay evil with evil, to seek revenge, to build walls of bitterness around your heart. But I say, do not let hatred take root in you. It will poison your soul. It will steal your peace. It will keep you in darkness. Instead, forgive. Bless. Pray for those who persecute you. Not because they are worthy, but because I have called you to be like me. When I walked among men, I was hated, mocked, rejected. I was beaten. I was nailed to a cross. And yet, with my last breath, I did not curse my enemies, I prayed for them. I said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Can you do the same? Can you surrender your pain to me? Can you trust that I am your defender, that I see every injustice, and that I will bring justice in my perfect time? Loving your enemies does not mean excusing their actions. It does not mean allowing them to hurt you again. But it does mean releasing the weight of anger, bitterness, and revenge into my hands. It means choosing freedom over resentment. It means seeing them as I see them, lost, broken, in need of the same grace that saved you. Do you think that by holding on to anger, you are protecting yourself? No, my child. It only traps you. It keeps you bound. But when you love, when you forgive, you are the one who is set free. So, let go. Let go of the pain. Let go of the desire to make them suffer as they made you suffer. Let go of the heavy chains of unforgiveness. Place it all at my feet. Let my love heal you, restore you, and strengthen you. And as you walk in this love, you will shine like a light in the darkness. You will show the world a love so powerful, so divine, that it cannot be explained, it can only be felt. You will be my hands, my heart, my voice. And through your love, your enemies may one day come to know me. This is the love I call you to. This is the love I have given you. Now go and give it to others. I see your heart. I see the wounds that others have inflicted upon you, the betrayals that cut deep, the words that echo in your mind long after they were spoken. I know the injustice, the pain, the silent tears that no one else sees. And yet, I come to you with a command that seems impossible: love your enemies. You ask me, Lord, how can I love those who have hurt me? And I answer, because I have loved you. Before you knew me, you were once my enemy. You turned away, you ignored my voice, you broke my commandments. And yet, did I not pursue you? Did I not love you in your rebellion? Did I not stretch out my hands on the cross for you, even as I was rejected, mocked, and beaten? I bore the weight of your sins, not because you deserved it, but because my love is greater than your failures. Now, my child, I ask you to walk in that same love. To love your enemies is not to excuse their wrongs. It is not to pretend that their actions did not hurt. No, I see everything. I see the way they have wronged you, and I am the God of justice. I will make all things right in my perfect time. But I do not want your heart to be consumed by anger, by resentment, by the poison of unforgiveness. Do not let their evil turn you bitter. Do not let their darkness extinguish your light. Instead, I call you to something higher. When they curse you, bless them. When they hate you, pray for them. When they strike you, do not strike back. This is not weakness, my child, this is strength. The strength of heaven. The strength that breaks the cycle of hatred. The strength that transforms enemies into friends, persecutors into followers, sinners into saints. Do you remember Saul, who persecuted my people? He hated my name. He hunted my children. And yet, my love reached him. My mercy transformed him. The same Saul who once breathed threats of murder became Paul, my servant, my apostle, the one who carried my message to the nations. That is the power of love. That is what happens when you refuse to return evil for evil. And now I ask you, will you trust me? Will you lay down the burden of revenge? Will you let go of the need to see them suffer as they made you suffer? Will you put justice into my hands, knowing that I see everything and that I will repay in my time? Loving your enemies does not mean letting them hurt you again. It does not mean staying silent in the face of injustice. But it does mean refusing to let hatred take root in your heart. It means praying for their souls, even if from a distance. It means hoping that one day, they too will come to know me, and in knowing me, they will be changed. My child, you are not called to live like the world. The world says, hate those who hate you. Fight those who fight you. But I say, love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Do good to those who hate you. Why? Because when you love like this, you show them me. They may reject it. They may mock you. They may continue to do evil. But some will see the light in you and be drawn to it. Some will feel the warmth of my love through you and be changed. And even if they do not, you will be free. Free from bitterness. Free from the prison of hatred. Free to walk in the peace that only I can give. So, my child, listen to my voice. Do not carry the weight of anger any longer. Lay it at my feet. I will heal your wounds. I will be your defender. I will take care of justice. But you love. Love as I have loved you. And in doing so, you will not only obey me, you will become like me. Come close and listen to my voice. I know your heart. I know the pain you carry, the betrayals that cut deep, the harsh words that wounded you, the actions of others that made you question your worth. I see the anger that rises when you recall what was done to you, the resentment that lingers in the shadows of your soul. And yet, I tell you this, love your enemies. I know how difficult this command is. I see the battle inside you, the struggle between justice and mercy, between your pain and my calling. You ask, Lord, how can I love those who hurt me? Why should I forgive when they have shown no remorse? And I answer you, because I have loved you. Why love your enemies? Because I loved you first. Before you knew me, before you even cared about my ways, you stood against me. Your sins separated you from me. Your heart wandered, your actions denied me. Yet, did I not love you? Did I not pursue you? Did I not call you back with patience and mercy? My love was not given to you because you deserved it. It was given freely, because I am love. And now, my child, I ask you to love others with that same love. If I have forgiven you of much, can you not extend that same forgiveness to those who have wronged you? Because hatred enslaves you. Unforgiveness is a prison. Hatred binds you to the very people who hurt you. It consumes your thoughts, poisons your spirit, and robs you of the peace I have given you. The more you hold on to bitterness, the more it controls you. But I have come to set you free. And freedom does not come through revenge or resentment, it comes through love. When you choose to forgive, when you choose to love even those who do not deserve it, you are the one who is released. The chains fall. The burden lifts. Your heart is no longer weighed down by what others have done, because you have surrendered it to me. Because love breaks the cycle of evil. The world teaches you to repay evil with evil, to fight back, to seek revenge, to make them suffer as they made you suffer. But what does that accomplish? It only creates more pain, more division, more destruction. It keeps the cycle of hatred alive. But love disrupts the darkness. Love breaks the pattern of sin. Love confounds the enemy, for when they expect anger and receive grace, when they anticipate hostility and encounter kindness, they are forced to see something greater than themselves. They see me. Did I not show you this when I hung upon the cross? The very people who beat me, who mocked me, who nailed me to the wood, I could have called down legions of angels to destroy them. I could have spoken a word, and they would have perished. But instead, I said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. That is the love I call you to. Not because your enemies deserve it, but because love has the power to redeem. Because vengeance belongs to me, not you. You may think that forgiving your enemies means letting them escape justice. No, my child. Nothing escapes my sight. I am the righteous judge, and I will repay every injustice in my perfect time. But vengeance is not yours to take. It is mine. If you try to carry out justice with your own hands, you step into a battle that is not yours to fight. You take on a burden that was never meant for you. Trust me. I see the wrongs. I see the tears you have shed in secret. I know every injustice done against you. And I will bring justice. But I will do it in my way, in my time. Your calling is not to seek revenge, it is to love. How to love your enemies. Now that you understand why, you ask, Lord, how? How can I love someone who has caused me so much pain? 1. Pray for them. This is the first step, and it is the hardest. I know you may not feel like praying for them. But prayer is not about feelings, it is about obedience. When you lift their names to me, when you ask for my mercy upon them, your heart begins to change. You stop seeing them through the lens of your pain, and you start seeing them through my eyes. I do not ask you to excuse what they have done. But I do ask you to bring them before me, to intercede for them, to pray that one day they may turn from their ways and find the same grace that saved you. 2. Bless them instead of cursing them. When they speak evil against you, speak good in return. When they act with malice, respond with kindness. This is not weakness, it is the strength of heaven. It is the very thing that will set you apart as my child. 3. Forgive, even if they never apologize. Forgiveness is not about them, it is about you. They may never say they are sorry. They may never change. But forgiveness frees your heart. It is a choice to no longer let their actions control your peace. When I was on the cross, did the soldiers ask for my forgiveness? No. Yet, I gave it anyway. Because love is not a transaction, it is a gift. 4. Let go of the outcome. When you love your enemies, you may wonder, will they change? Will they come to know you, Lord? That is not for you to decide. Your job is to love. The results are in my hands. Some may never change, but some will. And even if they do not, you will have been obedient to my calling. And that is enough. The reward of love. Loving your enemies is not just a command, it is a pathway to blessing. You will walk in my peace. When you release bitterness, my peace will flood your heart. The weight of anger will lift, and you will experience the freedom that only I can give. You will be called my child. The world will know you belong to me, not because of your words, but because of your love. When you love as I love, you reflect my heart to the world. You will store up treasure in heaven. Every act of love, every prayer for your enemies, every time you choose forgiveness over hatred, these do not go unseen. I see them. And your reward will be great. you will become more like me. I am love. And the more you walk in love, the more you become like me. You were created to reflect my image, to show my mercy, my grace, my kindness. And when you love your enemies, you shine with the light of heaven. My final words to you. My child, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Do not let hatred take root in your heart. Do not let the actions of others turn you bitter. Choose love. Choose grace. Choose the path that leads to freedom. I am with you. I will strengthen you. I will carry you when it feels too hard. Now go and love, not as the world loves, but as I have loved you. For in doing so, you will show them me, your Father, your Savior, your Lord, Jesus.